Per the drawing, Mr. Neff will answer first. Eastern Idaho farmers are heading into irrigation season with the lowest snowpack in years and a water agreement that sends water downstream to Magic Valley. What are your thoughts? 1 minute.
There's a lot in that question. I'm going to try to unpack a little bit of it. First of all, yes, we're heading into a summer that is going to have major issues, and I wish I was already had been in the legislature to help do something about it. We have to break the monopoly of water control in the state. We have to make sure Twin Falls is held accountable. We have to make sure that everyone on the eastern side of the state, especially the farmers who are starting to get outnumbered at the table when it comes to water, we have to make sure they all get a voice at the table, because without that, agriculture and infrastructure on the eastern side of the state will die, just because a lot of it is sent downstream. So we have to really make sure that the legislature stands up strong for the farmers and the eastern side of Idaho and keep the water here that we deserve.
Two years ago, farmers from up in this area, farmers from down in the Twin Falls area, got together and came up with a mitigation agreement. The mitigation agreement is good for 4 years. It'll be coming up in another couple years, and they'll be able to re-look at that. So the legislature did recognize that agreement through a resolution process that they did. So the legislature did take action to recognize that mitigation agreement that both parties agreed on at the time. We do need more storage in this area so we can help mitigate for water that we need. And that's why a lot of proposals have been made to, and trips have been made to Washington, D.C. to get us help in getting more water storage in our upper Snake River area so that we may be able to address those shortfalls now and in the future. It will take a few years for that, but this mitigation plan in the meantime helps us.
Okay, gotta get the mics figured out first. 1 minute is not enough time to answer that question, but good answers already given. I'll tell you, I have done everything I can to support our farmers and our agriculture and our ranchers, but the one thing that we need to remember is that they know how to handle their business better than anybody else. And so I have great respect for the leaders of our state who brought those people together a couple of years ago and said, you guys figure this out, and then we support them in that. I have championed water storage, helped co-sponsor Memorial last session to get our federal government on board with helping us build more reservoirs and raise the level of our reservoirs, leading a group of individuals voluntarily to Washington, D.C. to do that, and then did a follow-up memorial this year to push that a little bit further and bring us to a little more specific details on how we need that. Last I checked, the legislature has no control over the clouds or when it's going to snow or not, but we can help take care of what we have and push towards getting more storage and giving our farmers what they need to be able to do what they do best.
Water is the lifeblood of Idaho, especially here in East Idaho. I happened to be serving during the time that those curtailments were ordered, and I worked with a coalition of our Eastern Idaho legislators to draft our response to the governor's office and to others in leadership positions in Boise. One of the problems that we have is that in the perspective of the whole state, we are a minority. And so if we are going to have our interests represented, we have to be able to persuade legislators and people from other parts of the state that our concerns are legitimate. We've been terribly demonized in a lot of the conversations that have gone on. So I put a lot of time and effort during the time I was in office into understanding the water issues thoroughly, understanding where we went wrong in the courts, understanding where we were going wrong in the whole hearing process, and figuring out what the legislature could do to do better This is not an easy problem, but it's a problem that needs to be tackled by somebody who can do a good job of working with other people all across the state, and I'm your girl.